It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 10th day of March, 2022. Coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia for the next to last day till I leave for a while. I've noticed that Hot Air Tom's excited about the road trip starting tomorrow. Yes, indeed. So am I. So talk about that in a bit. Today is International Bagpipe Day. Not my favorite instrument in the world. However, I don't. It's just hard to rate bagpipes for me. Very sad. I find them terribly difficult to play. So anybody that can play a bagpipe, wow, they're something else. I've played a lot of instruments in my life, but bagpipe's not one of them. Anyway, today's National Bagpipe Day. So if you know somebody that plays a bagpipe, ask them to play you something. Or if not, wear a kilt. So, cruise ship sailing today from North American ports up in New York and Manhattan with Norwegian Jim gets underway. In Port Canaveral, Carnival Elation. Down in Port Everglades, we got the Enchanted Princess sailing. In Miami, Celebrity Summit and the Disney Magic. Over in Tampa, Brilliance of the Seas. In Mobile, Carnival Ecstasy sails again. In Galveston, the Carnival Breeze. In Long Beach, the Carnival Miracle. And in San Pedro in Los Angeles, the Grand Princess. Today's headlines: Princess 2022 full Alaska season plans. $49 a month for the month flights. I missed on that one when it broke some days ago. J-Lo's Virgin Voyages partnership. That's pretty cool. Sky Princess denied St. Thomas. Are you familiar with Cordelia cruises? I wasn't. Great Lakes Cruising Coalition. Puerto Rico losing restrictions. Belize waives testing. And unfortunately, a crew member on Oasis of the Seas passes away. That and a lot more here this morning at 11. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Or you can access it wherever you get your podcasts from, be it Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Stitcher, TuneIn, Pandora, Spotify, all the big guys. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News and you'll get the old fat travel guy. And as always, when you are on the podcast, if I do pictures or clips, which will do quite often, especially starting next week when I'm on cruises again or traveling, I may have some clips that you might want to check out. So there's always going to be a link in the description of the podcast, which will take you over to the video side in case you want to check out the video feed. So, and yes, Hot Air, I am definitely excited about the trip. Got a few things to get done this afternoon before I can be ready to leave tomorrow. I'm hoping when I get off the show tomorrow, process the show, I can just go outside, get in the car, and take off. So I'm hoping to have everything done, loaded, all that stuff today. I hope. So, good bit of it's done. Still have a couple of little errands to run this afternoon. But yes, I am excited about it. Tomorrow night, I'll be in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Saturday, I'm having lunch with Nikki and Roger down in Jacksonville. And then on Sunday, I sail on the Meraviglia. I'll be on the Meraviglia. It's actually back-to-back, but 7 days total. And then I'm going to drive across to Galveston. And I'll be doing Adventure of the Seas, 9 days, and try to get into some trouble between, places as I travel along. So it's going to be an interesting trip. I'll be back with the news for the day after this word from one of our network sponsors. All right, back with today's news. Princess Cruises will offer a full season of sailing to Alaska in 2022. Each one of the cruise lines is kind of taking a day after they got the announcement from Canada that definitely opened up the season. So Princess kind of grabbed today. They'll have 6 ships sailing to Alaska this year, including the cruise line's newest vessel, the Discovery Princess. Cruises include 12 unique itineraries, totaling 140 departures, 5 glacier viewing experiences, with visits to the Southeast Alaska towns of Juneau, Skagway, and Ketchikan. Princess sails to and from Vancouver on its popular Voyage of the Glaciers, 7-day cruises to and from Whittier, Alaska. More than 20 cruise tour options feature unforgettable land tour visiting the magnificent Denali National Park, Princess Wilderness Lodges, and include Voyage of the Glaciers cruise, Alaska cruises sailing from Seattle and San Francisco. Visit Victoria, Canada, along with various ports and Alaska towns dependent upon the itinerary. The first Princess ship to visit Canada this year will be the Caribbean Princess, sailing a 4-day Pacific Coast voyage with a scheduled stop in Victoria on April 6th, followed by Vancouver on April 7th. For May through September of 2022, 4 convenient West Coast home ports, Seattle, Vancouver, British Columbia, Anchorage, Whittier, and San Francisco, make traveling to Alaska seamless and hassle-free. The 3,660 passenger Discovery Princess marks her inaugural season as the youngest ship in Alaska, departing from Seattle on a popular 7-day inside passage itinerary. Alongside Crown Princess, Majestic Princess debuts along with Royal Princess and Grand Princess, sailing the top-rated 7-day Voyage of the Glaciers itinerary, which features 2 glacier viewing experiences on every cruise, including Glacier Bay National Park, Vancouver, British Columbia to Anchorage, Whittier, or vice versa. Ruby Princess offers a 10-day inside passage cruise out of San Francisco, featuring the added bonus of the awe-inspiring sail away under the iconic Golden Gate Bridge and a port stop in Victoria. So that's what Princess is going to be doing in Alaska. I think our Bonnie is going to be on one of those cruises. I will be in Alaska, but I'm on a different cruise line. This story I missed, folks, when it came out. Seattle-based carrier Alaska Airlines announced the launch of Flight Pass, a subscription ticketing program that will allow West Coast travelers access to flights from 13 California major airports as low as $49 per month. Not per flight, per month. Members can fly up to 24 round-trip flights a year to some of the most popular routes within California, as well as enjoy nonstop service to Reno, Phoenix, and Vegas. It's the first unlimited flight concept from a U.S. airline since JetBlue announced and launched All You Can Jet Pass back in 2009. That pass was priced at $599 a month, but included unlimited flights to all 56 of the domestic and international destinations that JetBlue serviced. So they're trying a $49. That seems to me dirt cheap. Richard Branson's Virgin Voyages revealed a new partnership with global superstar, movie icon, businesswoman, and style icon J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. Where ordinary cruise line would choose a godmother for a new ship as a ceremonial role, Virgin Voyages decided to do things differently. Jennifer Lopez will be fulfilling a modern change-making partnership encompassing everything from sailor experience development, such as well-being and fitness, to design collaboration and entertainment co-creations, all to be released throughout 2022. The first collaborations will start rolling out soon when Virgin Voyages will be exclusively introducing J-Lo Beauty as part of the onboard offering, bringing Jennifer Lopez products to the high seas for the first time. You got to admit, Virgin Voyages, they do things differently. Amazing. Sky Princess, operated by Princess Cruises, was not permitted to make a call yesterday in St. Thomas. Not yesterday, day before yesterday, Tuesday. Instead, they sailed straight to St. Martin for a longer port stay. While few details were released, the cause was an unspecified number of COVID cases detected on board. The captain explained were all mild or asymptomatic in nature, and it was a mixture of both passengers and crews. Further details were not revealed. Sky Princess is currently on a 7-day Eastern Caribbean itinerary, having departed Fort Lauderdale on Saturday, the 5th. The ship called on Princess Key on Sunday, a day at sea, and then was turned away on Tuesday. Sky Princess sailed approximately 60% of capacity. As of March 1st, masks are only recommended for passengers on board Princess cruise ships, but all crew members continue to wear masks. All guests and crew members must abide by local protocols, of course, when they're in port. I'm afraid we're probably, as you know, I felt we might be unmasking just a little early. I still think that. We may hear more of those kind of things over the next few weeks as the numbers continue to get better. I'm not trying to be a buzzkiller on this. Goodness, I'll be on ships here in 3 days. Just keep in mind that these kind of things can happen. Cordelia Cruises is celebrating its first 50,000 guests. Quite frankly, folks, I saw this and said, who? They're doing it with a special offer for India's defense personnel. I went, aha. The company announced in a press release this morning the India-based cruise line launched service in September and is now inching closer to that number. To mark the occasion, Cordelia has announced a special offer, which will be available to the 1.4 million currently active in India's military forces and their families. I did not know that India now has a cruise line. Again, folks, Two stories today that I completely missed somehow. Cruise the Great Lakes, a coalition of states and provinces, cruise lines, ports, convention, and visitor bureaus, and others working together to promote cruising on the Great Lakes, have signed a pledge committing to promoting 4 environmentally conscious cruising and destination efforts, starting with the 2022 cruising season. The areas of focus are destination stewardship, air emissions and carbon reduction, wastewater, and recycling. Beginning Thursday, travelers to Puerto Rico, that's today, by the way. Today's Thursday. So beginning today, travelers to Puerto Rico from within the United States will no longer have to provide proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test to enter and enjoy the island, according to Discover Puerto Rico, the official tourism organization of the U.S. territory. This news follows a series of loosened requirements over the last month, including dropping the arrival testing requirement for vaccinated travelers on domestic flights and eliminating the 7-day quarantine for unvaccinated visitors. Starting March the 10th, that's today, unvaccinated and vaccinated domestic travelers will be treated the same. The updated guidelines released by the tourism organization will apply to all visitors regardless of vaccination status. However, international travelers are still expected to adhere to the U.S. CDC's requirement to provide proof of negative PCR or antigen test taken within 1 day of departure for the U.S. and proof of vaccination. Along the same lines, it's also now easier to visit Belize. The Caribbean destination has officially waived testing requirements for fully vaccinated travelers. For those who cannot show proof of vaccination or are unvaccinated, Belize still requires a proof of negative PCR test taken within 72 hours before arrival or an antigen test taken within 48 hours. Speaking of antigen tests, I will do my test tomorrow morning before the cruise, before the show, for my first cruise. I'm hoping to do that right at 9 o'clock in the morning. Got to test it right over there on my nightstand. And a sad story to end today. A 36-year-old Indonesian crew member has passed away on board the Royal Caribbean cruise ship Oasis of the Seas. According to a source on board, last night code Alpha for medical emergency was sounded aboard the ship when the crew member was found passed away. The particular crew member was working as a waiter and had extended his current contract several times. And from all indications, he died of a heart attack. Our thoughts and prayers are with the gentleman that passed away and his family, and of course, all of the Oasis of the Seas family as well. All right, that's going to wrap me up in the news area for today. Let's go over and see who's in the chat room. Besides Hot Air Tom. Hot Air Tom's excited about tomorrow. Yes. Nikki's here. Good morning, Chillie and gang. Amy's with us. Hi, Amy. Gretchen's here. Good morning, Gretchen. Chillie's part is on the opposite side today. Oh, it is. That's interesting. The camera must be have flipped. It reversed. Yeah, I just noted that Max the dog and Brat the cat are on the opposite side of Tina Turtle. Kenneth's with us. Hey, Kenneth. Hot Air says, note to Cindy, how would you feel changing the November 2024 Hawaii cruise to an October or November transatlantic? None on the offerings yet, but I thought after doing Hawaii in 2022 and 2023, a change would be nice. You know, Hot Air converses with Cindy via travel and cruise industry news. That's interesting, Hot Air, Tom. Hot Air says, Kenneth says, Hot Air, Tom, sorry, it's afternoon for us since we're started working. Hot Air says, any idea what happened to NCL Getaway on Wednesday? It was overnighting in Port Canaveral, but was scheduled to go. I don't know. Weather wasn't an issue since NCL Sky was in Great Stirrup Key yesterday. No, I don't know. I have not heard and not seen a thing. And I was all over Norwegian this morning. And no idea. Was not aware that happened yesterday. I'll see what I can find out about it, Tom. Kenneth's on lunch break. Hot Air says, after we caught COVID on the Silhouette, I wonder how effective the masks really are. I was wearing double masks for the cruise. That's clearly, come on. Clearly a debatable issue. I'm going to mask up, at least for now, when I'm in indoor settings or particularly in crowded places. And we'll start off on the cruise that way as well. Now, I don't know, once we're actually on the cruise and I see and just feel how things are going, maybe I'll change. I don't know. I'm going to go on my gut on this one, guys, quite frankly. For now, I'm planning on still masking as I did the last 3 cruises because that was safe and effective for me. Gretchen says, since I spent 10 days in crowds in Orlando and the villages, sans mask, and came home feeling fine, I've gotten cocky. Well, maybe we're at that point, Gretch. I hope so. I'm generally, when I go out to dinner, I'm going out to dinner now here, which I didn't do before my cruises last time. I stayed at home for the last couple weeks. But the numbers were not as good then as they are now. I tend to keep my mask around my neck when I go out. And if I remember to put it up as I'm walking in or walking out, I do it. Sometimes I've not done it as well. But yeah, we'll see. Kenneth says about 90% don't have masks on here where I work. I think it's way too soon not to have a mask on. Well, so do I at this point. But, there are indications that, there's clearly some thought that the masks, that we've gotten past the point of where the masks are that effective. I don't know. I'm just more comfortable with it. Amy says, I don't think it matters whether you're a masker or not. Even when everyone was fully masked and the protocols were much stricter, there were breakouts. I think as long as they keep sanitizing. Well, I agree with that. The cruise lines, I hope, have learned their lesson and will continue with the protocols. It seems that they are, since crews are still having to mask. Hot Air says, I'm picturing an Indian cruise ship filled with cubicles with guys calling, asking to speak to us about our computer, doing it from a cruise ship. Yeah. I know that's politically incorrect, Hot Air, but that was funny, I have to admit. Gretchen says, I wonder why they deleted Amy's comment. Which one? Did I do that? I don't think I did that. I might have done that by mistake. I don't think it makes much sense. Oh, that was a correction. That was an editing correction. I caught it when I read it the first time. Kenneth says, asks, has any cruise line lifted their mandatory COVID vaccination? Not that I'm aware of anywhere. I mean, that one would make some news, I would think, and I have not seen that at all. Gretchen says, well, there it is again. Gretchen says, there it is again. I'm not seeing that, Gretchen. I don't know. It's not coming through on mine, on my list. So it's not me. Cindy's with us. Cindy says, good morning, a little bit late today. Katie's with us. Hi, Katie. Carol's here. Everybody's popping in a little late. That's okay. Someone posted a clickbait article in a cruise group yesterday. Scott Gottlieb was talking about dropping vaccine requirements, but not until mid-2023. That's one of the problems, is people jump all over some of the folks that are experts and twist what they're saying. So, yeah. Emily's here with the walkie-talkie, NIP walkie-talkie, NIP. No walkie-talkie. Oh, okay. So she doesn't have a walkie-talkie. That's strange. Gretchen says, congratulations, Emily. You deserve a biscuit, a dog biscuit, for not stealing the. Amy says, on my American Queen cruise. By the way, Amy, I loved the pictures your sister kept posting. They were fantastic. On my American Queen cruise, we were not allowed to use the antigen test. We had to get a PCR test 2 days before the cruise, and that was hard. Ooh. Okay, so they're a little stricter. Cindy says, Hot Air, you should do a Pearl Greek cruise in 9/29/24. Wow, Amy, getting a 2-day PCR is a bit of a problem. Cindy, that's the time frame we are doing back-to-back Sky Baltimore to Quebec in New York. Some people are wearing masks, some people are not. I took an Uber yesterday. They still require to wear masks. Yeah, the Ubers that I took in Miami, of course, again, that was a month ago. I don't know how it's going to be. Oh, I'm not going to be taking an Uber now. That's right. I'm driving. Oops. Hot Air says, I use a cruise lanyard to hold my mask. Always have it hanging when not on base. Yeah, well, I have a strap thingy that goes around my neck that keep mine on, hooks around the earpieces. But keep in mind, I so often have too much going on behind my ears for holding the mask on, because I've got oxygen too that I deal with when I'm moving around. Amy says, I think you are right to wear a mask right now. And anyone else who has health issues, I'm just saying I don't think it needs to be a blanket rule for everyone. Yeah, and again, I have no problem with it. So I did not mind it at all last time. Now, if I get on a cruise and nobody else is masking, then maybe I'll start thinking about it again. But again, I'm going to go with my gut on that one. Gretchen says the comment reappeared. Something's happening with your feed, Gretchen, because mine never left. Emily says, I go to the store, I wear a mask because of my mom. No one will say anything if you wear a mask or don't wear a mask. Well, see, that's unfortunately in Virginia, we're not as liberal as you are. So there are still people here that you wear a mask and they look at you like you've committed a crime. I didn't mean to make that sound political, but it was. Okay. And that's not saying which side is right or wrong. I'm just saying that non-maskers in this area, how's that? Look at you like you've committed a crime if you have a mask on. Hot Air says, I have a big order of greenies on the way for Miss Penny. I'll send you one, Emily. Yeah, that would be good. Give Emily a greenie to chew on for not stealing the walkie-talkie. Emily and a greenie. That would be good. I'd pay for a clip of that one. Amy says, I deleted my comment because I used voice to make it and it was not putting on the right words. Okay. There we go, Gretchen. It's nice to know it wasn't the YouTube folks. I agree. I use a lanyard as well for my mask. I thought it might have been the COVID police. I hope not. I haven't had any problems with that one lately. The one I have problems with is music. I get dinged for music all the time when it's not music that I've created or put on. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Again, like Hot Air Tom, excited about tomorrow as we start on a new adventure. And of course, I will be keeping you posted and updated and everything. Again, what I'm going to do now, of course, Sunday for Cruise Amigos will be after the show tomorrow. That's my next scheduled show. And I'm hoping to do the Cruise Amigos from onboard Meraviglia. We'll see as soon as I get there. And then Monday show, assuming that there is a good Wi-Fi signal. I'm dependent on Wi-Fi, but assuming I can work it out so that I'm got a signal. If I am at sea, the show will be live at 11. If I am in port that day, I will tape the show early and it will be premiered at 11. Either way, at 11 o'clock, Travel and Cruise Industry News will magically appear on your feeds, one way or the other, if it works out that way. So I'm hoping it works out that way. If not, I've got, John in the background, Nanook of the North, John, who will call on to bail me out at the last minute. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, appreciate the thumbs up. Smash that like button. That helps out a lot. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. You'll be notified when I go live or when a new video is up. And I'll be doing a lot more with the way of videos, as I've been working on a couple things in the background here to possibly start, especially on some of the shorts. And we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'll see everybody back here tomorrow for my last day before I go on assignment for Chillie's Cruises for a while, about a month. So that's it for today, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. One of these days, we'll all meet on the high seas. This is the old fat travel guy. Have a great day, y'all. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.